Hey, everybody. Welcome to Slamfire Radio, episode 429 for November 4th, 2021. I am one of your sometimes hosts, the Frelate.
And I am Kyle, F.
And I am Mo.
And I'm Adriel.
And I'm Kelly.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Out of order there.
How?
Yeah, I know, but it's fine. It's fine.
Worked out, didn't it?
It was an ND, sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah. What? Listen, we've done it in order and been much worse.
Mhm.
Even though the names may have been out of order, no one knew that till you opened your big pie hole and ratted them out. I think you did just fine.
That was very smooth. It was very
Try
smooth.
to ignore Adriel's hate, okay? You're doing okay. Not you, Mo, but
was
like
there
you
no
other
hate
two, it's not too bad.
Thank you.
That's so good to be. That's so
It is just another example of Adriel picking up my slack.
I just talking. I think I jumped the queue. What was that?
Yeah, you didn't give me time. Even
Yeah.
Yeah. You just
And now-
right there. Yeah.
And
There was a
and
little
now-
bit of dead air. I'm on it.
and now he's mansplaining it to you, Kelly.
yeah.
And now I'm mansplaining
more.
to
I
you
don't
that
understand.
he's mansplaining it to you. Would somebody else like to tell Kelly what I just did?
No.
Well, what Trevor just did is he mansplained that Adriel was mansplaining to you.
Do you get it now?
Kyle.
Oh, don't answer, Kyle. I know that used to be Trevor. Trevor, I know it's a trap. Don't answer. Let's move on.
Good
All
idea.
right. There you go. So let's jump into what we did this week in guns, which is brought to us, as always, by the Calgary Shooting Center, Canada's premier firearms retailer. This week, they have the Henry Big Boy all-weather side gate rifle. And side gate is when you load it from the side. That's what side gate means. See, I know stuff. I used to do this for almost like a living. Henry Big Boy. So Henry lever action rifles, and it's almost like foreshadowing to what I've got here on my lap. Henry's been making lever action rifles like forever, and they got all kinds of different
Nice.
models. Golden Boy, but the Big Boy, I think refers to like the adultish type calibers, doesn't it?
Do they have a Henry little boy? Little boy.
That's creepy.
Hey, little boy.
Oh, what I'm loving this one. They've got the Henry Big Boy Classic here, and this is something that I will get someday. It's in pistol calibers: 44 Magnum, 44 Colt, 357 Magnum, 41 Magnum, 327 Federal Magnum. That's a cool cartridge.
What?
So yeah,
What's 327? What is that?
it is. It's obviously it's a rimmed cartridge like all the other ones. You know what, Adriel? I'm confusing it with no, I'm not. It's like a shorter 357, but not a 38, if memory serves me. And it's supposed to be, now it's been a long time, so bear with me. But if this is the cartridge I think it is, a lot of people brag it up as the most accurate revolver cartridge you can use.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page on it. It says that they would use it in 357s to hold one more round.
There you go. So it's not shorter. It's 2.7, not 5.7. So it's actually smaller in diameter. Ooh, I am out of practice. All right. Well, why don't we get into it? And my name still appears at the top of the list. That's weird. So you know what? I'm going to leave what's on my lap for last and talk about the boring stuff first, and go out my segment on a high note. Renewed my RPal. Do you guys remember me bragging about how I during the second last renewal I took a selfie and I uploaded the selfie and they accepted it?
Mhm.
And this time I thought I'd be even cheekier and I took a photo of the photo on my license.
They accepted.
No, they didn't. That's what getting cheeky gets you.
You went too far.
Took it too, I flew too close to the sun and got burned. They sent it back. Yeah. And I was starting to sweat. Like, it arrived literally just a couple of days before my birthday. So
how long did it take? 6 months?
Oh God, no, not at all. I started the process in July, had my picture rejected, and still got it in time for my birthday. So
When was your birthday?
it was a little while ago.
It was October 31st. Imagine you being born on Halloween.
Who'd have thunk it?
Oh, I do.
Yeah. So, and then God love New Brunswick. I applied for 2 ATTs to go to some indoor matches in Nova Scotia. Actually, November 14th will be an indoor match at the AMA range, the indoor range in Dartmouth. And so I applied for my ATT for the November match and the December match in less than 24 hours. Boom.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, you win there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's New Brunswick.
Yeah.
There's not a lot going on in the shooting world right now. So, but even when, you know what? I've never really had a complaint about the New Brunswick CFO's office. I've always had excellent service and my turnaround times have been really good.
Mm-hmm.
They have a series of questions that they ask. They kind of changed up the process a little while ago. So I just copy and paste it. I go in and I change the dates and stuff and just copy and paste it in an email and off we go. And yeah.
Rob's your uncle?
Yeah, no, Robert's my father's brother.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to try and get through this next thing without crying, but I'm not going to make any promises.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I want to share a new family heirloom with everyone. This is the son of a bitch. Ruin a moment, why don't you? Screw you, Kevin Hickey. I'm busy. Bastard.
Well, they're not used to you they're not used to you not being available on.
And he's like the only guy who
evenings.
calls me. Like the rest of the world texts, right? How inconsiderate he wants to actually use his voice. Anyway.
Yeah, who calls people now?
Right? Jeez.
Yeah.
People your age, Mo, but like not
I
this
know,
guy,
right?
Right? Anyway, back to this. So can I I don't know if I can share the story about how he acquired it. Maybe I'll tell you guys off air if you remind me at the end of the show.
Okay.
But anyway, kind of a cool story how he got this rifle. And the first time he showed it to me, I told him, I said, if ever you want to get rid of that rifle, please let me know. So during
Who is
this is Officer Frank. Thank you, Kelly. I'm just having a hard time with this story that I even lost track of who we're talking about here. So yes, this is the late, great, dearly departed Officer Frank. So for the listeners who have been with the show for a long, long time, they know all this, but for anyone who may be new, I'll condense it really quick. Officer Frank and I met when I was in my first year of teaching, and he was in his first or second year working as an RCMP officer. We both lived in a really small community, and our other hobby brought us together, and he brought me out shooting. He took me to the tail end of, you ready for this? SummerSlam 3. So that we're going way back now. And he's like, this is IPSEC and you should try it. I'm like, hell yeah. And so he prepared me for my firearms license and helped me get prepare for the practical and stuff like that. And I got my gun license because of him. But then I kind of took a little hiatus in the archery world for a while. And I remember one time he was in my basement and he looked around at all the archery equipment and he's like, what a good thing you didn't get into guns. And then, of course, then we bought this new house and I built a walk-in gun room. And so, yeah, it was way worse with the guns than with the archery. But he saw it coming. He knew it would happen if I got into guns. And he was right. So anyway, Officer Frank is the guy that got me into shooting. And he passed, unfortunately, not that long ago from cancer. Mm-hmm. We had a big fundraiser for him and the ccfr, Tracy, Slamfire, the community really got behind him and raised $25,000 in 3 days or something. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So one of the last things that he said to me when I was visiting him on his deathbed was, when I'm gone, please sell my guns for my wife. So I said, yeah, absolutely. I'll take care of that. And when I went over to see her finally, she asked me if I wanted one, and so I chose this. The rifle that the very first time I laid my eyes on it, I told him if ever he was going to part with it, that I wanted it. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. This case, this is not like faux leather. This old school case is actual leather.
Wow.
It's got a really, really nice lining in it.
Oh yeah.
And what's hidden inside here is a Marlin 1836 3030. And model, sorry, it's a 336. What was I thinking? 1836. I'm not sure. But it's not terribly old, but it's old enough that it's a genuine Marlin. It's got the JM stamp on the barrel, which Denis was telling me is an indication that it's an actual Marlin and not a Remlin sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Looks in good condition.
It's in very good condition. The person who he got it from barely ever used it, I don't think, and I don't know if he even ever shot it, to be honest with you, Kelly. There's one little ding here on the foregrip, but whatever. The metal's in real nice condition. It'll probably get a scope because the Marlins are easier to scope because they're what do we call it? Gate fed and side eject, so nothing happens up at the top. So you can put some rails on there and a scope, no problem. And I love the 30-30 caliber for New Brunswick for shooting deer or bear. And we don't shoot great distances here anyway. Everything is pretty up close and personal. So it'd be a real good bush gun, a real good tree stand gun. Maybe put like a 1 to 5 or 1 to 4 power scope on it or something.
Irons.
Wow. Beautiful.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I had my dad's 30-30 for a long time. That's actually with my godson now, and it was a 1972 Model 94 special edition. It's got the case color hardened receiver and a little bit of not super fancy scroll work, but some scroll work on it. And with that gun, I never really wanted to take it to the house and do anything with it. This gun is very precious to me, so I wouldn't want anything to happen to it either. So I don't know how much hunting I'll do with it, but I would love to bag a bear or a deer with it in honor of Frank. So yeah. So anyway, yeah, proud to show that to all of the listeners and you guys as well. New addition to the collection. So yeah, and that takes my segment to an end. Who's next? Adriel, what have you been up to?
Yeah, do me next. I gotta show my house at some point.
Gotta get out of here.
Yeah. Let's see here. I hit the range one more time before going hunting, so wanted to get out and shoot my hunting stuff out a little bit further and make sure that I could make hits at long range. So yeah, everything's good. Got the 6.5 and the 243, both ready to rock and roll. And then Cabela's has these like Wednesday sales, and usually there's like a bunch of junk I don't care about, and every once in a while there's 1 or 2 things in there that are like really well priced. So they had a bino harness on there for $50, and I picked it up because I don't have one for this set of binos. And it's just a standard. Pop your binos out, and
that's interesting. I've got a.
It's like tethered on the bino set's like tethered on there.
That's
so
cool.
You can just let them go, or you can stuff them in there and.
Well, that's it. The harness is onto the case, and then they're tethered to the harness. Interesting. Like I've got a couple. I think I've got an Easton one, and maybe another one from back in my archery days, and it was like really like on bungees. And they would stick close to your chest, but then the bungees would, but with the case is nice, especially you're walking in the bush and stuff. And you look down, there's crap all over your lenses.
Yeah. And I mean, this one has like straps. It straps right to your back, kind of a thing. So it keeps it close to your chest. It's not going to get in the way if you're like moving around. And there's other ones just like this that do the exact same thing. I just needed something that the price was right. So. Otherwise, I would have just stuck a rope around it and, or a strap and called it a day, right? I don't really like running binos, though, with a strap because they get in the way of everything. You like when you're climbing ladders or going through the bush or just all the time. They're always just clunking around. And
should be fine now.
I don't like that. Yeah. That'll be
Strap
fun
to your
now.
chest.
Oh, yeah. I love the bino harness or like what Trevor was saying, the bungees. If I'm at a 3D shoot, I'll just throw the bungees on the binos and...
Yeah, I think for that it's fine. I think for like hiking around in the bush and
You want
and
protection?
needing a case anyways, like you could carry the binos in a case and then put straps on the case, or just run something like this that like holds it to you and keeps it out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and typically they have other pockets, so you can put your calls, wind checkers, whatever you want on there.
Yeah, little pockets on the sides, and they have a pocket in the back here for your phone. But the problem is that if I were to do that, if I were to take my phone and slip it in there, my phone battery is going to die in like, if it's -10, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes max, and then that phone's toast.
Yeah.
So I gotta keep my phone in like a pocket or something like that and keep it warm, because modern phones don't like the cold.
No.
But yeah, it's got a couple straps, a couple of the different things. It's got a little zipper on the front there with a lens cloth in it and all this other kind of crap that I'm never going to use. I just need the binocular thing. It was $50 on sale. So
Nice.
I think that's it for me. I'm going hunting this weekend, so I went and picked up a couple of things that I've packed away and I can't find, so I had to go get another knife. I just got like a Mora knife, like the cheapest Mora knife that they had at Cabell. It's like $27, and
What knife?
like a Mora knife.
Which is what now?
They're like a semi-popular. No, they're a really popular cheap knife. They're like a rubber overmolded handle and a real plain blade on it, and they're really popular.
Okay, so like some like for skinning or what have
Yes.
you.
Yeah,
Okay,
skinning and gutting, purely for that. Comes in like a really utilitarian plastic holster. So you can like pop it on your side. It's easy to chuck onto your belt. And if you lose it in the bush, you're not going to like cry at all about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you buy disposable hunting knives rather than like getting something you got to maintain or whatever.
No, these are still good enough to maintain and stuff.
Okay.
But if I lose it, I'm not going to, I don't know. I don't really like the idea of like rolling around the bush with like a $200 skinning knife and getting it all gory and then having it rust on me because it's a high carbon steel instead of stainless like that.
Yeah.
You get the sharpness out of it, but I don't want to put the time into it. I don't want to put the time into maintenance. So I'd rather just get something that's stainless. It'll just work.
Yeah, I hear you. I got a nice Cody pack from Outdoor Edge, but like if you want it properly sharpened, you send it back to them. So,
Or do the fancy like Lansky thing where you like hit it from both. The Lanskys are good. They take some time to sharpen, but they do a fantastic job.
That's what I go. I'll sit in front of the TV with a collection of knives and just start sharpening.
Yeah.
And reviewing your list.
The list of people who you have. Yeah.
That's you put the list on the wood block and you throw the knives at it.
That determines who's next. Yeah.
Right. Listen, I'm totally going to steal a joke here. My therapist told me to write letters to the people who wronged me and then burn them. And now I don't know what to do with the letters.
Oh. Nice.
Not my joke, but I don't know if I should say who to attribute it to. I told
Probably not.
I've heard that one before. I don't know who actually come up with that one.
Oh, I don't
good.
know, but I want to meet them.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Cool. Anything else, Adriel, or is that it? You going hunting?
No, I'm going to go hunting near Edson in some crown land out there. So
Cool.
with a listener.
With the listener.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, make sure that everybody knows where you are and when you're supposed to be home, and that he buys you a sandwich.
And that he doesn't like rape and kill me out in the forest.
In that order.
Jeez.
Kelly, what have you been up to?
I've been up to a couple things. Went duck hunting, got skunked.
You went duck hunting and got a skunk. I think you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Like
Quack, quack, quack.
Quack, quack, quack. Got up early, went out duck hunting and got absolute zero. There was nothing moving. It was quieter. You could hear a mouse fart, like literally. There was so quiet. But on a good note,
how quiet was it?
there was nothing. On a good note, as I was entering the Kincaid Ranch, it was 6 o'clock in the morning. Darker than dark, but there was a nice
Quieter than quiet. It's darker
Yes.
than dark. You're like Edgar Allan Poe's lost like daughter or something.
forevermore.
Good job.
Nice.
There was, as I was pulling into the driveway, there was a doe there, and I'm going, okay, you come back next week. I'll see you. Stay juicy. before our deer season. So yeah, got skunked. Not happy about it, but it is what it is. You can't always expect to, kill something.
Well, it's hunting, not shopping, as they say.
Oh yeah, like really. That's why they call it hunting, not.
I literally just said that. That's the. Never mind. I missed you.
I missed you too. I also had 2 maple seeds at Stittsville, which Stittsville is just outside of Ottawa. So the first maple seed on Saturday was the Canadian University Shooting Federation event. It was sold out. It was awesome. And on Sunday, we also had another event there as well. So it was a great time. It is our last events for Ontario-ish. That being said, we kind of discussed having winter seeds as well. So starting to plan those. Stittsville Range. They're my new favorite range. Well, they've always been a really good range anyways, but they have their own shop there. So I went in, really nice little gun store. Went in. I was paying the range fees for the day, and I said, "Hey, you got any 28 gauge?" "Why, yes, we do." I said, "How many you got?" And they said, "What do you need?" And I said, "I'll take a couple of cases." And they said, "Okay." And I got them
Cases? Like 250?
I got cases. So 10,
good.
yeah, so 10 boxes in a case. I got a few of those. So I got them at a really good deal too. When she told me, I said,
Baller alert! Look at you.
Yeah. And I said, "I'll be back tomorrow for more." So I did. And I think that I'm going to win a sandwich at some point. Adriel, are you still here? Look. Sandwich time. There you are. We have to review the results. I would like a tuna sandwich with lots of mayo. Sent to the mail, please.
Yeah, that'll keep.
Hey, true story, Mo. A listener mailed me a sandwich. I went on Facebook and I said, "I need a buffer spring retaining pin. If anybody has one in their parts container, you want to mail it to me." And it arrived with a sub from a gas station sub.
A gas station sub? Oh, those are the best ones too.
Yeah.
But a tuna sandwich in the mail?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'll make it happen.
There you go.
I know. That's fine.
And it'll arrive with those special stickers he puts on all my packages that say rectal use only.
Yeah.
Not putting it up there.
On the outside.
Yeah, I know. So the other thing I did was I got asked again to have a range day for 2 people at take them out to the range for the United Way to raise money. So I put it in again this year. We'll see how much money we raise. Typically it's around $300 each year. So I hope it's 300 or more. But anyways, also wanted to let everybody know that the ski club that I usually shoot at, the Kingston Trap and Skeet and Sporting Clays, guess what? Wednesday night's back on. Yeah, that's so exciting.
Nice.
I couldn't go. You know what? Couldn't go yesterday. You know why? I left my shotgun at Kelly's because we were duck hunting, and I was going to go back for more.
Wait, you were duck hunting with a 28 gauge?
Yeah, why not? That's how we killed the birds the last time.
Ducks?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm actually a pretty good shot.
Yeah, it's not missing isn't my concern. Just actually knocking them out of the air with a 28 I was just wondering if it was actually good enough for a duck. Interesting.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Cool.
Killed them dead. Worked for me.
Barely killed them, but it killed them.
Bang. Well. Anyways, so the other thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be heading out to the Kincaid Ranch again, and I'm going to go deer hunting on Sunday with Kelly because that's the only time that we have available that we're not working. And yeah, and so my expectation is this: like deer hunting for us is getting up in the morning and having them come to the house and shooting them off the deck. That's the only thing I know.
I like that way of deer hunting.
Yeah, in pajamas. They're literally wearing pajamas and drinking their coffee.
Yeah, I like that style.
So,
amazing.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Like the last time I was out at Kelly's, the deer was sitting there right at the entrance of the driveway. Like, come on. That's my
Stay
expectation.
Yeah.
Stay juicy. That's what I said to her. Anyways, but yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. I'm just super busy at work. So I'm not able to I have people that I'm mentoring as well. So I'm not able to take days off. So on the weekends, we're going to have to do some deer. That's about it. So that's it for me. What about you, Mo?
I went to 2 IPSEC matches this weekend. The first one was at CTM, the indoor range in Montreal. I went on the Friday to help them build. It was 4 stages. Then I went back on the Saturday to shoot it, and it went well.
Is that Nardi's range?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So they just started their winter season. It was the first match, and they're doing one a month until May. So it should be good. Sorry.
And they normally don't they do one large level 3 indoor like around?
Yeah, and it's going to be February this year. Sometimes I think they do it in January. Yeah, they call it the MIC, the Montreal Indoor Challenge.
Right, that's it. And arguably one of the best indoor matches that we have, and they are quite creative in the things they pull off. It's we'll save it for the main topic, but I've never been, but I've also never heard a bad thing about Mick.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard good things. I've never been because this will be the first year I'll actually get to shoot it. The indoor one was, the first one was good too. And that was Friday, Saturday. And then Sunday was, and this will be part of the main topic too, was an outdoor match. And that was at Eastern Ontario and also near Ottawa. And it was a steady rain the whole time. And a mud fest. So, but it was still a lot of fun, but it was just raining the whole time. And it was four stages. And the last one was like, literally there was like a bunch of an array in the corner where it was just like a swamp. So you'd like run through this like muck to get to that last corner. But it was really like fun. Like it was it was challenging and fun. The only thing is just the rain. Then I stuck around to help with the teardown because I was in the last squad. That's really it. But it was good to actually shoot 2 matches. It had been a month since I had shot. The last one I had done was the Ontario Provincials, so it was a month in between. And then nothing this weekend, and then there'll be one after that. It's good. I mean, it's only going to be indoor ones going forward for the rest of the winter. So. And
4 stages. I can't imagine 4 stages.
Where for?
Just period. I've never shot a match with only 4 stages. Like
small match. Yeah.
Both of them. They were both. All 4 were long stages. Like they were good long stages. They weren't like
Gotcha. 32 rounds.
Eight, they weren't. Yeah. They were 25 and above. They weren't 8 rounds. No, right. They were. Yeah, of course. Like 4 stages would be kind of boring if they were all too short, too long, or whatever medium. But yeah. So cool. I mean, I'll talk about more in the main topic. Yeah. But that's it for me. How about you, Kyle?
Well, basically, I went and worked on the 60-meter range. We got wood in, so we finished off our 60-meter range wall. It's ready for fill, and we're pretty much out of wood again. So we need 2 more lifts of wood, and then we can get the 100-meter done and fill them up and call CFO to come out and inspect.
Sweet. When do you expect to have that done by?
Well, we basically got to have it before we have too much more freezing, so we're probably going to get another lift donated, and I was stopped off at the range today to see if I could get an update, but there wasn't anyone there around that could give me an update on where our wood was. So, yeah.
Wood's apparently cheap again, so that's probably a good
thing,
right?
There. Mm-hmm. Thank God. I got to build
it. I know we were talking that we were just buy a lift and then take the one, because the donated stuff, it's a small sawmill. So he does take a little bit of time, and I understand that. We all understand that. It's just if we don't get it very soon, basically if we don't have it done by the end of the month, we're not going to be able to get the fill done because the sand, even though we have a plethora of sand, it's just going to be frozen and clumping, and it's not going to make good fill for the wall.
Yeah.
So we want to have that ready by the end of the month.
Okay.
Hopefully we can do it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the pain of the inspection.
Well, the design was already pre-inspected, so we should actually be good, because even from the designs I submitted to them, we've already gone over and above. Like,
okay.
with the 60-yard, I submitted them with the walls without telephone pole baffles over it, but we're still going to do, and they approved it, and we're still going to do the telephone pole baffles.
Are these walls sky baffles? What are you doing?
No, they are walls.
For what? To divide
with a shooting window. So basically, our range is pretty much in town.
Okay.
So from the shooting window, you can't see. You're not supposed to be able to see ground or sky.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So, being where we are and where people have chosen to build communities and golf courses, and that we have to do this.
Yeah.
Which is less than ideal, but it is the best choice out of all the choices we had.
Right. If it's sky baffles and ground baffles or no range, well, get to the sawmill, right? So.
Yeah, like we'll have sky baffles on our pistol range, which I do have to get on designing that and getting that sent off. So I'll be getting on that soon.
Cool.
And yeah, so that'll be sky baffles because we'll still have multiple shooting lanes, and so multiple different distances with just one target.
Gotcha.
So,
all right, cool.
And recorded an episode with Taylor. I'll get that out by the end of the weekend for the asylum.
Well, sorry, man. I didn't see anything else written there. I thought you were done.
Yeah, no. It's all good. All good.
Anything else?
No.
Good. Cool. All right. Well, then that's going to bring us into upcoming events, which is sponsored by Telos Alpha. Telos Alpha is a Canadian digital agency that works exclusively in the firearms vertical. They help with business processes, strategic planning, websites, e-commerce, and battling the stigma the industry carries with banks, merchant processors, and social media. Learn more at telosalpha.com. Chris W. sent this one in. There's an action pistol match in Guelph, Ontario on the 19th of November at 2 p.m. Or the same match will also be held on the 20th of November at 9 and again at 11. Cool. Action pistol match. Pistol match. It'll be a pistol match. Well, just, Guelph, Ontario is a pretty big place. Maybe the name of the range might help us direct the listeners, or just look for Chris W on Facebook, I guess.
Well,
what am I supposed to do with that? All right, news.
Rod and Gun Club, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Then the listeners know that how
match is.
Yeah. There you go.
Crank a bunch of cheap beers back and
see who can piss up a tree the highest. News.
Well, it's gonna be action though.
Cock it before you. Never mind. Let's talk about the.
Okay.
Are you ready? Stand by.
Let's talk about the ATRS items that were struck from their case. What's this all about? Does that? Who put that in there?
I put that in there. So I'll kind of reference ATRS's post on it. But essentially, like they brought a case in for the reclassification of their firearms. It sounds like some of the items were struck before the case goes forward, but their main thing is continuing to move forward. That was the main and highly significant action for misfeasance in public office, which is their change to the FRT that harmed their business.
Yeah.
So,
okay, so that's still alive then.
It is
still alive. Yeah, they took
good.
some stuff out of it, but it's still ticking. And I think that's the piece that they wanted, anyways. I don't know. Law's weird. Like there's always like.
Well, they wanted the restitution as well for the loss of business.
Yeah,
that got struck.
Yeah, that got struck out of there. But,
what else? What else got struck specifically? So, if I understand correctly here, they're not going to reverse the classification, but they're after compensation, and some of it is being tossed before they even get there. Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
My understanding is they wanted to reverse it, and then they were going for monetary damages on a number of different fronts.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so far, from what I've seen from it, all the monetary compensation's been scratched, but they did acknowledge that they overreached with the cease and desist and striking it on the FRT.
Who got served with the cease and desist?
ATRS.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
The government, like the CF or the
CFO
firearms lab
office.
or what?
No, the CFO office and
Said stop bothering us. Wow.
No, they
cease
said
and
stop
desist.
making
Stop
them.
making them.
Yeah.
Oh, that. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Next, what else we got here?
The next one is this just happened today, and we're just
Yeah,
starting to get some details on it, and the details seem a little bit weird.
Sketch.
Yeah. So, a man in police incident was a man shot in police incident was a gunsmith. Neighbor says. Long story short, the police were serving a warrant, got into this house. And killed a gunsmith while he was with a customer at his home. This is a
70-year-old
70-year-old Roger Katenko,
gunsmith with a customer in his home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is
So
Did they not know where they were going?
Yeah, they did because they were serving a search warrant for weapons at his address.
So you're not expecting to find guns there, like you know what I mean? Like.
So many questions.
Yeah. So one of the things that it's in Port Dover. Port Dover has some significant organized crime, aka motorcycle clubs specifically.
Motorcycle clubs.
This guy's a 70-year-old gunsmith.
Hey, you know what?
Make your point.
I'm just saying that Port Dover, and sometimes there's a little bit of bias about the people that live there.
That's not an excuse.
I know it's not an excuse, but it is what it is.
No, it's not what it is.
Stop.
I don't give a shit if he lives next door to the Hells Angels biggest clubhouse in Port Dover. You don't just go into a 70-year-old gunsmith's home and shoot him and say, high crime area.
No, you don't. But I think that there might have been some bias or expectation if they're going to go and do a weapon.
Well, I think there was some balls dropped and a lack of investigation ahead of time.
But we're also speculating on what was going on because we don't know. It happened today.
Yeah. No. I mean, it could have been a no-knock raid. They could have, in Canada, they do no-knocks for, as we discovered today, drugs, child pornography, and firearms. And I think the risk there is that if you break into if you bust the door open unannounced into someone's house and they've got guns on them and you're looking for someone with guns and you're going to shoot someone with guns and it's a gunsmith, there's some obvious risks.
I don't mean to laugh, but there's probably guns.
Yeah. So I mean, we don't know if this is a no-knock or if this was or what happened here. So
I'm assuming that it was a no-knock.
Well, in 2 days we won't hear anything more about it. They'll go back to COVID and.
Oh, sorry.
Active case. Because it's Toronto police, so it'll just go right under the rug and.
Yeah.
Well, they won't give any details. We can't comment. There's an active investigation on that. ACERT's looking into it, or whatever the Ontario version of that is.
Now, if Alec Baldwin was involved in this, we'd get details for days.
Yeah.
Because the man can't shut his pie hole.
Yeah.
They might be the wrong details, but we'd get details.
Right?
Oh, did you see that the armorer is blaming the DA and the DA is blaming the armorer now?
Yeah, a lot of fingers.
She finally broke her silence and she come out and made her statement. And
she's blaming who?
The assistant director.
The
AD did something
not
wrong.
DA.
The AD picked up a gun and said, "This is a cold gun," and gave it to Alec Baldwin. But why was it loaded on a cart?
Yeah, why was there live ammo on a film set? Come on. Anyway,
and a lot of what she was also mentioning that she kind of made it sound like they were pushing her around, but then it comes back to, well, if your job is safety on the set, then you've got to push back.
You have the ultimate say.
Yeah, you have to push back.
By the way, Dustin was such a great guest last week. Got so much positive feedback about it.
I know we got to move on, but in my opinion, whoever brought the live ammo to a movie set, you start there when you're laying the blame. All right. CCFR legal fund donations, they continue to pour in. The Islington, I'm probably bastardizing that, Sportsman Club donated $3,400. I don't need you guys to tell me if it's right. Just move on.
Okay, you know what? Since you can do the show by yourself, then we're all going to leave.
Well, you first, and let's see if the rest follow. Tank cartridge Canada, $3,500.
I gotta go
And
anyways.
yeah, so now
Oh, Kelly's gone. Oh no.
now it's more important than ever to become a member. Donate to the legal fund by sending an EMT to finance@firearmsrights.ca. Keep your right to defile your guns. Yes, you can still modify and /Dremel your guns. What's this about? The Adriel, it's got Dremel. So are you still here? Because this is probably all you.
Yeah, this is the thing that we're doing. This is if you want to help support the CCFR and get a chance to win a Dremel.
I haven't got her to rage quit in like a year. That's amazing.
You asked for it though. You had to. You forced her into a corner.
Is she not coming back though?
I don't know.
Sure
Why don't you go find out? Step up the hall and see if she's there. Jesus Christ. You were saying, Adriel?
Oh yeah, you'll get a chance to win a Dremel. EMT, the CCFR, send us proof, and maybe you'll win a Dremel, and it'll be autographed, and it'll come with some stickers, and it's a cordless, real brand Dremel, not like Power Fist or any of that kind of stuff that you get at Princess Auto. And,
Jesus.
Yeah.
So it's a contest that we're doing with the CCFR.
Well, we're doing it. CCFR is the benefactor.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you
All
used
right.
it yet?
Dremel. Have I used it yet? No, I don't have any guns.
Oh, sure. Sure, you can find some just to
I could, yeah.
just make some
Go to my
designs
buddy's
on the
house.
side.
All right. Should I go
to my
through the
buddy's house with
details?
that carbide thing and just start scrolling in like maybe my initials or something like that?
Yeah.
Maybe the reg cert on it.
Yeah.
I could still put the reg cert number of my pistols on those things.
Do we actually go through the details here, how they can participate?
Yeah, just send an email EMT to finance@firearmsrights.ca and then email the show and let us know that you donated. We have
Make the
Josh V,
password
Victor,
help
Calvin.
CCFR on your EMT.
Do you think the CCFR has auto deposit already set up?
Someone
I gotta-
actually
Well, it's in
mentioned
the show
that
notes.
a
I
couple
figured it
weeks
was there
ago.
for a reason. So
And the
Kyle,
links
did you
are
say
in the
they do?
comments if someone needs them.
Okay,
what
yeah.
was that, Kyle?
I said the links are in the comments if anyone needs them. I think a couple weeks
Ah.
ago someone said that they have auto deposit set up.
Oh, there you go. All right. So that should
It's
probably cover it.
2021. Everyone has to have auto deposit set up.
You'd
I
think
don't.
so. Well, and as I said, the password was in the show notes. So what was I to think? So draw happens November 18th. And this week, Josh V, Victor F, and Calvin M have all donated. Previous weeks, Richard, Justin, Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer. Anthony, Joel, Russ, and Lincoln. That's awesome. So
Jennifer just got one of them Go Fast mag releases for her PC carbine. So it drops the magazine with the right finger.
nice.
hot. Pretty hot.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. New gun stuff, which is brought to us by Bolt Action Coffee. Slamfire Radio is a proud ambassador for Bolt Action Coffee. Coffee is roasted in small batches, and it's quite honestly some of the best coffee you can get your hands on. I've had it. It's true. Send it to your house by going to boltactioncoffee.com. Use the discount code SLAMFIRE. New gun stuff. What is this Arkin thing you speak of?
Let me share my screen. These guys. Opticspiceca. I've never heard of this website before, but apparently they have Arkin stuff. And Arkin is like a budget PRS optic that they are apparently liking in the US. I haven't seen them in Canada yet, but apparently they're in Canada now. Now, one of the things I saw in here that was super interesting, 34 millimeter rings are kind of hard to get. Check this out. 34 millimeter optics rail for like AR kind of a thing with a 20 MOA cant on it for
Sweet.
$90.
Nice.
Wow.
That is downright affordable.
That looks like a nice set of rings.
Yeah. It's got
Although the whole torque on the engraved on it, I don't know.
I've heard some people who dislike that, and as a user of this stuff, I don't mind it. I don't mind having that stuff written right on there.
You know what? I'm with you because I sometimes lose the piece of paper that came with the rings, and then I got to go look online because they're not all the same. And I do have a Wheeler fat wrench, and I do use it, and I do follow the manufacturer's specs. So, hey, no piece of paper to lose.
I feel it's a quick Google search to figure it out, but yeah.
Well,
It is handy.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yes, it's a quick Google search. You can do it on your phone. You don't have to log into your VIC-20, but it's right there. So you don't have to pull your phone out of your pocket.
Fair.
Yeah. Anyways, I like it. There's not that many 34 millimeter mounts out there, and this one's super inexpensive. And they got some bunch of other like stuff, Arkin stuff. If you're interested in that.
And the R2 or RS, what is this now?
RSQ1. So there's a couple of non-restricted semi-autos that are I don't know, that I think they're like getting made by like boutique makers. This is one of them that's like got some real weirdness around it, and I just wanted to let people know so that if they see one of these for sale, to know that there's some weirdness going around. The RSQ1, it kind of looks like the modern Sporter, that it's got like that T-rail kind of a thing to it, but it's not made by them. It's made by someone else. It's made by Adler, Stephen Adler. There's some distributor and there's some distributor in BC that has like a whole bunch of different business names. Anyways, this thing's sketch AF. Don't pre-buy one of these things. And there's a thread on CGN where this guy like prepaid for it and was supposed to have it like 6 months ago, and it's not here. And
7 months, it says.
Yeah, it looks like it quacks like a scam.
Wow, like $3,750.
Like no communication whatsoever. Like,
well, and I think we've talked about it before on the show, but one of the risks of buying a weird rifle that's boutiquey like this is they're not getting an FRT.
Enough.
Their FRT is, we are saying it's non-restricted. If at any point the RCMP is like, nope, we think this is prohib, you have your recourse is to go back to the manufacturer and say, hey, you said this was non-restricted and it's not, give me my money back. If it's a small, like a rinky-dink little operation, you will not get your money back. They'll just fold like a deck of cards. Your money's gone.
Yeah.
on the same, okay, but on that note, if the manufacturer goes to the lab and through the FRT, as we've seen in recent history, that doesn't mean anything either, because they just change stuff like
when they feel like
action that looks like an AR.
Right, but you feel better about it.
The other one, yeah.
I mean, manufacturer's not going to give your money back on that, and I wouldn't expect them to. They change stuff on a whim anyways when you follow that process.
Not if they change it afterwards. So if you get an initial ruling, and then later the RCMP changes their mind, you'd have to take that up with the RCMP.
Correct.
Yeah.
But if the manufacturer says it's non-restricted, and the RCMP looks at it and says, no, that's prohib, then you have to go back to the manufacturer.
Yeah.
I agree.
But I agree with they're like you said, they're going to fold. You'll be no further ahead. So if the RCMP changes it, you're screwed. If they say it and then they were wrong, you're still screwed no matter what. So the moral here is don't buy sketchy AF guns.
Yeah.
So
And Stephen Adler was the original drummer of Guns N' Roses, and he was kicked out for drugs and alcohol problems and stuff.
Oh, look at you, Mo.
Designing guns now.
Oh. Your street cred
I'm
is not
assuming
up.
it's not the same guy.
that's pretty good, Mo. Not gonna lie. What is the next item, Adriel? Let's talk about the Bullseye. Yeah, I got distracted by the R18, but Bullseye North is selling 5,000 CCI mini mags, which is pretty snotty 22 ammo. 5,000 for $483.
I'm on it.
Yeah, everyone should be. That's
10 cents per on a mini mag was what I paid 2 years ago, and it was a pretty good deal. This is less than 10 cents around. This is a fantastic deal for mini mags.
Yeah.
I like this stuff in semi-automatic 22 handguns more than anything else, because it tends to not be the most accurate out of rifles. But if you got like a semi-auto that needs some stank to cycle the action, if you got a semi-automatic pistol that needs some, these are great for if you're like breaking in one of the Glock 22 conversion kits. So
It works.
Yeah.
It works.
It works.
Now, the RET.
Yeah, what is this? What is this now?
Oh,
Go back to the go back.
Huh?
I just want
this.
There's me waiting for Trevor.
Looking good.
Waiting for me to what?
I don't know.
I didn't go anywhere.
Message me back.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right, so this is a Sterling Arms has been making a couple of things. It's a company in the UK. They've been making them and bringing them into Canada. This, like, you wouldn't know it from looking at it. This is a 180 clone.
Seriously?
It's a 180 clone. Inside there somewhere is a 180 mechanism. I want to draw your attention to this little guy. So there's the mag release. What do you think that little guy? That looks
that's
like a bolt release.
That's your ambi bolt release, I would say.
Kind of like the BCLs had, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or the Modern Varmint, Modern Hunter.
What is this witchcraft?
It's got a bolt release on the right-hand side.
That is amazing.
Quite literally.
That's amazing.
What's that, Kyle?
It's quite literally the same. It's right there.
Yeah.
Wait. You've got one?
Pull 'em
Wait,
up.
I'll stop sharing screen.
So, right there. Amazing.
Yeah.
Do you even know how to gun?
No, I fake it.
Nope. Yeah, it's that. But on this, yeah.
It's kind of like a bad lever, but on the side of the receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a weak point on the 180s. None of the 180s have a very good bolt release. That is a very good bolt release. That's a gamer go fast bolt release. I like.
When you held that thing up, F, you just confused every American listener watching. Like, what does that Canadian have there? It's an assault rifle. All right, who's making this, Adriel? How much? Where do I buy one?
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing.
There's no price yet, but
who's making it? Sterling.
Sterling.
Yeah.
Sterling's bringing them in. Yeah.
No, that's gonna be the best 180 out there.
Left side charge only. You notice there's a right ejection, but left side charge only.
Like that
only
is
time
perfect.
anything on the
That
left is
correct.
correct.
That is the gamer rifle right there.
Credit card on standby.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Kelly, do you need a kidney? Yours must be starting to go.
Really? Really? Did I ever tell you about the time I ended up in the hospital, or Mockto Hospital with kidney? I had my kidney.
No, and you're not going to tell us tonight either. We don't have time. Adriel's got to go. Moving on. Time for our main topic.
Wow.
Poor Mo. Mo was like thinking he was going to get the gears tonight.
Kelly, I'm happy to listen later if you want to tell me about it.
You look. I can't even tell where she stops and you start. Your head so far up her ass. All right. So the main topic tonight, kind of timely since I'm going to be going to an indoor match and then a week from this weekend. I thought it would be cool for us to compare and contrast shooting indoors to shooting outdoors, and then maybe trail off into specifically shooting matches compared to indoors and outdoors, because obviously Mo just shot in the rain, and that's not something you have to do when you shoot a match indoors.
No.
But so I threw a couple of things in here that you need to keep in mind if you're switching to indoor shooting, maybe for the first time or for the winter, and that is air quality. You guys who've been around long enough know that my lead levels were to the point where the doctor said, you know what, just go ahead and die. You won't listen to me. I give up. Do what you want. And that happened because, and now I'm paraphrasing, but only slightly, my lead levels were high. When I went to Mag 40, I came back and Misada Ayub was telling us all, if you're shooting indoors, if you're doing any reloading, you need to stay on top of your lead levels. Go get them checked. And so when I came home, and I had only been in for a year and hadn't even shot indoors at that time, and my lead level was high. And so just be a smarter reloader and clean up more and stuff like that. And a little while later, I got it checked, and he said it's even higher. Don't reload and don't shoot for 3 months. So I took 3 months off, and I was scheduled to go for blood work before going to an indoor match. and I had to put it off until after the indoor match. Unfortunately, there was a scheduling conflict. So I went to one indoor match after doing nothing for 3 months, and it had skyrocketed to like, I don't know, 10 times whatever it was before. And he's like, obviously you're not listening. Don't bring up your lead levels to me anymore. Best of luck, Sparky. So it doesn't matter, the fancy scrubbers and the air circulation and all that stuff. When the CFO goes in to test or to inspect an indoor range, I really don't think air quality is on their checklist. I think they're more concerned with baffling and stuff like that. So if you are going to shoot inside, do it sparingly and keep an eye on your lead levels. So what about you? Where are you guys at with that? Have you had, like, I've been to indoor ranges where like I start to get like this weird, sweet, phlegmy feeling in the back of my throat. Kelly, you're nodding. Have you ever experienced anything like that in indoor range?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that can't be good, right?
No.
Sweetness is from the lead.
So,
Yeah.
so indoor ranges, I dislike the indoor ranges for just that, like ventilation. You can have all the ventilation in the world, and the only time I shoot indoors is winter time when it's cold out, and trying to keep heat and ventilation on there. Still have everything cranked, but pulling black shit out of my nose immediately afterwards, and it's not necessarily phlegminess in my throat. I get dry mouth like hardcore after an hour session indoors.
There you go. So like maybe for you, an hour is like, that's it. I'm going, like, I've stepped outside. I've been in, and I did to like, I just can't anymore. And I've gone outside to get some air and come back. The indoor range that I shoot at now has required plated bullets only, nothing else. No wax, no powder coating. Like those X metal things that I used to shoot, they smoked like a muzzle loader outdoors.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So even worse inside. So that's a no-go for that range anymore. Plated only.
Okay.
I didn't really have a chance to go to indoor ranges over the last 2 years. They've been like
because of
not
COVID.
allowing, because of COVID. Like even right now, if I were to go right now, you'd have to do the Vax passport and everything. So a lot of them just aren't open. They're just not doing anything right now.
Gotcha.
Ours is currently open.
I think for 2 years.
Ours is currently open, but we're not doing matches. But Frontenac, we've invested so much money into an air exchange. It's one of the best in Ontario, and we have it at different levels on the actual indoor range as well. I don't care if I can shoot outside. I'll continue to shoot outside. If it's 20 below, I'll shoot outside, but I'll shoot indoors if I have to. And typically it'll be pistol and just, I'm not doing matches indoors right now, or FRPC has decided it's not going to be doing matches indoors this winter because of the Vax Pass. That's it. But we also have to make sure that some of the other things that happen with it too is when you're sweeping up, you're picking up all your grass and everything. Make sure that you're putting down the media as well, because you're stirring up lead if you're doing it that way too. Like you just have to so much more maintenance.
Real smart about it, and you're absolutely right. It's not just about what's in the air. That stuff lands in the ground, and then when you start sweeping up at the end, you're just stirring it all up again. I mean, I've seen guys wearing respirators at indoor ranges, and it looks goofy, but I understand why they do it. I won't do it, but I'm not going to judge them for doing it. It's the one time where wearing a mask doesn't get you called a sheep.
Are there any signs of when your lead levels start going up?
Start selling all your guns and buying RC cars.
You're falling out.
So the joke is, Mo, if you can't remember the last time you got a hard on, it's time to get your lead levels checked because it causes memory loss and impotency.
Sorry, don't mean to laugh.
Dude.
There's so many men that would actually happen to. They should all be checking their lead.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, if
sorry, what did you just say? Can you repeat that?
Nope. The joke, Mo, is if you can't remember the last time you got a hard on, it's time to get your lead checked. Because impotency and memory loss are two possible side effects of lead poisoning.
Okay.
So if you're in your 30s,
which I'm not,
and you can't remember where you put your hearing protection, you got to get your lead checked. If you're your age, Mo, it's just normal, man. You're old.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, that's
So-
distracting.
So how often would you be okay? So good question. If you're only able to shoot indoors, how often would you shoot indoors?
I've
mean,
done it like once every week, and
Once a week?
Ooh, wow, that's a lot.
well, we do
a
training
lot.
like once a week, and
That's what we do too.
like IPSEC or defensive pistol.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
during the winter.
whenever possible, I go once a month in the wintertime. But I know guys that do once a week, and then on top of that, sometimes twice a week, including that weekend match. So, yeah, if you're shooting once a week, you definitely need to go get checked if you haven't. So,
well, I'm scared to go get checked.
I'm gonna
So it
go
makes
now
it
after
okay.
this. Like this.
well, that's true. It's true, Kyle. A lot of guys don't want to go because they don't want to know.
Yeah.
Like I had to do a
gonna
hard
go now.
stop once for 3 months.
I'll tell you.
Sorry, Kelly.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, we were talking about cleaning up. That is one thing that I will do religiously, like after cleaning up the brass, and if I brass chicken or whatever that night, whatever. First thing I do is I'm at that sink with the soap, washing my hands, making sure that
Let off works too.
let off works too. If I happen to have some in my bag, I'll use that. But we have the bathrooms right there, so there's soap, everything there. Let off is good for that.
Strip off your clothes too. Don't even come in the house.
Well, that was the other thing, Kelly. Like Christina got her lead levels checked, and for some reason hers was elevated. So we were like, "Oh, well, I must be contaminating the wash or something." So
Yeah, you know what? For you, you have an older home and the infrastructure. I'm wondering if it was lead pipes.
this was both homes, though, right? Like the
Okay.
whole lead thing started in our other bungalow that was like 40
still.
or 50 years newer than this one. So,
But you're in the town, correct? Still?
well, we're in a different place. The lead level's been high in two different homes. So,
I'm
It
just
could be
saying
the
that
water
the
pipes,
infrastructure-
lead
the water
water
pipes.
pipes.
The
No,
actual town
there's-
infrastructure.
yeah, well, I mean, yes, that's a possibility. So, and you know what, Kelly? I wanted to get our lead or our water level checked for that. Like, if you are selling your house, they do a water test, but they actually don't check for lead. That's the first place I called. I'm like, all right, so I want to get a water test. They're like, okay, you selling your house? I'm like, no, I just want to see if there's any lead in my water. Oh, well, we don't do that here, but we can send it away. I'm like, all right, here's my name and number. Let me know when we can do this. They never called me back. Yeah. So,
Okay.
the next thing you got to consider when shooting indoors, I would say, is hearing protection, especially if you're shooting a competition and somebody's shooting an open gun. Double plugging is obviously the best route to protect your hearing, but it's the least practical option. So I think my best suggestion would be a quality set of electronic hearing protection with a real good seal. And if you're not in a competition and you're just standing static on a shooting line by yourself, yeah, go ahead, double plug, triple plug, whatever, right?
Yeah.
I've been in shooting ranges, indoor ranges in a basement where one guy's got a 22 and there's a guy shooting a center fire 30 caliber rifle down range. Okay, so when that goes off, everything rattles.
Yeah.
So you have to step up your hearing protection when you're indoors, and I believe you have to step up your eye protection when you're indoors. I wear eyeglasses, Mo wears eyeglasses, and we get away with shooting on ranges with these, especially if you have safety ranges. I've never been on a range where someone has said your eyeglasses will not do. You need to put on actual ballistic eyewear.
Yeah, never. Never.
No, but indoors, I'm not doing it because I believe that the ricochet hazard indoors is far greater than outdoors. I know a story of a law enforcement officer who lost his eye. There was a baffle in the ceiling that had been hit so many times it started to get like a groove in it, a concave. And
that's not good.
yeah, so the round went up, Kelly, hit it and came back and it went in just underneath his glasses, penetrated and took out the eye.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
Yeah. So don't mess around with your eyes indoors. Is just too much potential for. And I've never seen it, but I mean, like I'm shooting in an indoor range. I'm surrounded by concrete.
There's going to be blowback,
right?
Mhm.
And depending on the baffle system and the back, the ceiling, whatever, it can happen. So,
so your recommendation is for obviously ballistic grade eye protection.
Along what you're saying, just basic safety glasses, rated safety glasses.
But if you're like me and Trevor, blind as bots without our glasses.
Yeah, I do contacts and actual Rudy Project shooting glasses now with ballistic lenses.
Yep.
Got to, and something that wraps around the side like eyeglasses don't, right? So, yep. Now, matches. So, Mo,
what about them?
Mo, you shot your first indoor match, and you're still kind of new to IPSEC. How did it compare and contrast to shooting outdoors? What was your experience like?
Well, it's in terms of movement and I guess.
Oh, well, wait now. Question.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. The indoor match you shot was in Quebec?
Yeah, that's another factor. So at CTM, it gets even more interesting because they're one of the ranges that the CFO has not allowed, does not allow forward movement. So everything is lateral.
Yeah. So for the listeners who don't know, the CFO in Quebec has put an extra restriction on action shooting. They're not allowed to move forward or backwards. So all of their
at certain ranges, they're allowed to move forward.
Oh, so that's new to me.
It's based on the range and what the CFO has approved for that range. So there are some matches where the forward movement is allowed, but going backwards is not anywhere.
Okay. Yes. So. Yeah. Now I'm fortunate. The indoor range that I shoot I shoot IPSEC matches. It's the same as outdoors. We can do whatever we want as long as we don't break the 180. We move down, we move up, we move whatever we want.
Yeah. Which is good, and then
you're limited.
For CTM, it gets even more interesting because they have the rifle range and they have the pistol range. In the rifle range, the shooting area is only in front of the booths. So basically the targets are all set up behind the booths, but the shooter is always in front, going left to right to left, but always in front of the shooting booths. But then on the pistol side, they have a green painted area inside of the booths that they can actually have the shooters in that position.
Okay.
So they have even in the same at the same shooting range, they have different rules for the different sections, I guess.
So let's try and put that aside and just your IPSEC shooting indoor matches compared to outdoor. Okay, we talked about range.
Well, variety of the way the stages are set up, the length of them. In the Ontario one that I did which was at Waterloo, they had some nice long running areas, and it was really spread out. And I can't imagine an indoor range that would have been able to do, many of those stages the way they were laid out and stuff. Just space wise, it's impossible. So,
and now, typically an indoor range, you got a berm, not a berm, but a backstop,
cement walls on the side. Yeah,
you got a backstop downrange, and normally your rounds are from the shooting line straight downrange into that backstop. Now, have you shot any indoor matches where you're able to shoot at angles? Or is everything always?
No, I've shot Guelph and I've shot Peterborough. Those were both inside, and I'm going to say
ours are set up. No,
I'm going to say no. I'm trying to picture all the stages and stuff, and no, I don't think so. I don't think anything.
We shot slight angles before, but it was all rear impact.
So everything is still at the one and only backstop downrange.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So all right. So very fortunate. My experience has been different, where the range has constructed bullet traps. They're portable backstops on wheels made out of a steel frame construction. So you could maybe start literally 2 meters from the intended backstop, run backwards uprange, engaging targets on your way back in these bullet traps on the way.
Interesting.
Cross the range parallel to the backstop, and then proceed downrange again to a whole new array of bullet traps.
At our range,
That-
you can 10 meters is the closest you can get.
Oh wow!
To
See,
it.
we've got 2 bays. It's a 2-story range, and each range is 25 meters. So we move the shooting line with the individual like stalls, if you will, is all modular. That all gets disassembled and taken aside. And then and we do another thing, Mo, where let's say you have a short, medium, and a long.
Mhm.
So these targets
Apparently,
here.
Hef and I are not here, Mo.
Yeah, we're not here.
Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous. Go ahead, Trevor.
Thank you, Mo. These targets over here are like stage 1, and then these targets then get joined with these targets, and that's stage 2, and now that's a medium, and then so you got like 3 shorts, a medium, and a long when you combine them all. You got to kind of no choice to do something like that. So
Yeah, they got to get creative on how they move stuff around, right? So-
yeah. So
Well, it's interesting you're talking about the portable walls, because I have shot indoor matches where it wasn't the walls, but you shot up front and you ran out to the back and you're shooting into the ground. They had a box on the ground that you could shoot at the ground, and they had targets right in there. And they made like a little mini house that you went around the perimeter of it, and there was ports that you could see different targets as you went around the ports.
but it's still into the one and only backstop at the.
No, that's into the floor.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Well,
Yeah, you're at the port shooting at the floor, and there was a box built up to capture the bullet so it didn't damage the floor and that.
cool. So
Similar
Never
idea
seen
to
that
what you're
before.
saying with the portable walls that you move around.
gotcha. I wouldn't call them walls, Kyle, because they're not like they're bullet traps, and they're maybe 4 feet high and 4 feet wide. On
Okay.
a almost like on a dolly with wheels. So Kelly, I was going to talk to you next, not because it's just coincidence. I'm not doing it because you know,
Nope, it's
your
fine.
butt hurt, but just because that's where I was
Apparently,
going
you
in
and
the
Mo are
process.
bros.
So
Okay.
well,
Well,
I mean, you know.
not only that, you look like each other, so you must be twins. So go
Right.
ahead.
Okay. So, have you ever been able to adapt a maple seed to an indoor range? Is that a thing that's happened yet?
Yeah, we can do that, but we hate doing indoor.
So, but it has happened. So, perfect. I'm glad you said you hate indoor. Please expand on that. We're comparing and contrasting indoor versus outdoor. Why do you hate indoors as opposed to outdoors?
One reason that we hate indoors is because we can't do as many people, because typically ranges don't we need
Not
at least
wide
30,
enough for the shooting line. Yeah.
30 meters
Yeah.
to
What about relays? Have you tried it with relays, or is that just not even a practical thing?
Yeah, we've discussed relays, and we have tried the relays. It's not practical at all.
Okay.
The other thing with just
Oh, but literally, we would take twice as long, right? Holy smokes.
literally, and
Yeah.
also with the stalls themselves, like a lot of ranges have stalls that are secured to the floor at the 25 meter. It means that it's
Can't
just not
always shoot under
practical for
them. Yeah.
exactly. You can, like at my range, you can lift up the table and but it's 1.5 meters. You cannot get the person in there to give them to situate their body at all. So it's just not practical from that perspective. Not only that, you're going to leave things on the line. You're going to step back from your rifle, and then where are we going to do the instruction? Like there's typically not a lot of instruction not a lot of space between the firing line itself and to the back of the range.
Were
what?
you ever in the cinema range at the Calgary Shooting Center?
Yep.
Yeah, that might be okay, but again,
Yeah, that would be good.
You're limited to group size, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, where typically you get 20 people, 20 to a maple seed, you'd have to go 7.
Yeah. And
yeah,
in some areas that'll be okay. Like for example, New Brunswick or someplace like that where we have a lower participation rate, whereas in Ontario, it's not really practical. If I can that's why I'm thinking about doing a winter seed. If I can do it outside on a 25 meter range, I'm going to do it out there. You might freeze your bum off a little bit, but you'll still have fun. I can get some more people through.
Yeah. Well,
and you don't have to deal with lead. You don't have to deal with the cleanup or anything like that as well.
Oh man, that's it, sick, Kelly. When you're at a Maple Seed, you're there for the long haul. Can you imagine being in there all day? You would literally, for
Okay.
health and safety reasons, like say,
Exactly.
okay, we're going outside for a little while.
Well, the round count. So if you have
Yep.
10 to 15 people and the round count's 350 rounds.
Nope.
Well,
No.
black badges are done at indoor ranges, and
I was just saying,
the shooters are there 2 days,
Yeah.
16 hours, right?
Yeah.
And it's just constant shooting. So
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, that's very true as well. Oh,
I'm going to tell you about a range that I went to down in Michigan. We had an instructor boot camp down there. The range itself. So it was an indoor range. They had no air exchange at all. At the back of the range, people would shoot, and they had plywood backers, literal plywood backers, that they put up, and people would post their targets and shoot into it. It looked like almost like where you would actually have darts, and you'd throw like a dartboard. Anyways, and again, as I said, there was no air exchange or anything like that. So it looked like a hall, basically. So people would shoot indoors, and it was a hall. And then right beside it was their kitchen where they prepped dinner and everything like that. And then when then they switched over. When they were done shooting, they brought out the tables, and then people would sit down and have dinner there. And we had a boot camp, and people slept there. I'm going, no.
Wow.
No.
Oh,
No.
if you're listening,
So
go get checked.
lead-tastic.
Did any at least turn on the hood fan above the stove? I guess I don't know.
Man,
And I'm going, no. I'm not going to be sleeping here. No. And also, no. I'm going, oh my God. Has anybody ever thought about lead? That was the worst I've ever seen. True story.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, and one of the points I was going to make is, then it's kind of like Maple Seed ties into this, and that is most of the things that happen at shooting indoor ranges is static. Sometimes there's no way you can't tear things down and make stages and stuff like that. There's just so.
Well, that's it too, because you only have a limited space in an indoor range. So how many stages you're going to be able to put in, and then you have to tear it down and put up another stage.
Yep. Yeah, and like we, Jim, the match director, typically for some of the indoor matches, like Spring Bang in Nova Scotia, is sometimes it's a level 3 indoor match, and it's like, for this stage, make sure this wall is here, and then the instructions can sometimes be convoluted. They make sense to him because he wrote them, and then he'll explain it to the CROs. Do you get it? And the CROs are smiling and nodding because they're all scared of Jim Smith and intimidated. Yeah, we get it. And then all of a sudden you walk by and you watch the other squad shoot it, and they're doing it different than you because they didn't get it and they set it up wrong, and there's a reshoot. And so some of the things that typically don't happen outdoors, but
Kelly was talking about, you get to shoot. You're talking about tear down and reset up. Like out here for our indoor IPSEC matches, basically, unless you have 2 separate bays that you can shoot, you don't hold an indoor IPSEC match, because they do exactly what Trevor was saying, where you'll have 3 stages already built, and it'll be a short, medium, and then long, where long encompasses everything. And so you'll get your 6 stages in your day between the 2 bays. And
we do. Well, the guys are creative, Kyle. We've got 2 stories, so call it 2 bays, and I will shoot no less than 8 stages next week. I promise you. Like, our round counts out here are always high. Like, he's talking about a 4-stage match, even if they were all 32 rounders. Like, yeah. So yeah, obviously,
About 108 rounds, I think. I'm trying to remember now.
Okay, 108 rounds.
Yeah.
We used to have a saying in New Brunswick: we don't get out of bed for anything under 200.
200.
Yeah.
I was already up anyways, so.
Oh, there you go. Well, at your age, you get up to pee 16 times a night. So eventually, one of those times, you just say, "Fuck it," and don't go back to bed.
What's that match where it's all day and it's like?
Oh, that's the Hampton 250, and so it used to be held on it's still held on the Equinox, the longest day of the year. It was crazy, Kelly. It was like, it's 250 rounds. They used to have a lot of stages. Like, and you're right, it was like all day you would be on. Well, and I mean, like for us hardcore people, it was all day because you didn't leave the range when the match is over and everything's closed. The bottles come out, the fire starts, and the guitars start playing, and it's such a good time. It's literally after SummerSlam my favorite match, and actually, in a lot of ways, it is my favorite match because I've worked it in the capacity. I've been a CRO, I've been a range master at that match, but I've never been responsible for building it or tearing it down or anything. So when I go there, I'm a guest and I can just, shoot
Relax.
and then hang out with the crew, and there's such good people down there. So imagine doing that indoors. So one other thing that I'd like to mention, and then I'll turn it over to you guys for any final thoughts, is to keep in mind your footwear when you're indoors, especially if you're shooting an indoor action shooting match. What provides traction outside on the dirt may be a nightmare on concrete. So before you start running around with a loaded handgun inside concrete barriers, make sure that you've got the appropriate footwear and you're going to get some traction and not slip and fall on the concrete. So, take a couple of quick steps and stop without a gun in your hand first before you start running around. It's something you take for granted. You put shoes on every day. You don't think about them, right? But the speed cross that you use outside may not work so good on concrete. So just a little pro tip. Keep that in mind. That
you mean Adriel can't wear his cleats?
Adriel can wear whatever he wants. It's as long as he doesn't shoot anybody when he falls, it's really his problem. I mean, I'm not the boss, Adriel. So
baseball cleats on an indoor polished floor are fun.
Yeah. It's fun if you're not trying to shoot a gun. Fun. Yeah.
You just flat foot the whole way.
Yeah,
nice.
Cleats are also great until you hit wet wood. And then you might as well be on ice. So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anybody else want to add something to this before we shuffle our way on to listener feedback?
Yep. I just want to. Oh,
sorry.
Speaking of somebody up somebody's butt.
What?
Nothing.
Her jokes rarely land. You get used to it and you just wait for her to work through it. And
this might be complicated. Let it play out. Go ahead.
Nope, I'm good. Go ahead.
Good, Kyle. I like that.
I had one last thing. I just I know we got kind of been knocking the indoor matches, but I'm glad we have them because it would suck not to shoot all winter in this country, right?
Mo, I was going to say the same thing.
IPSEC matches in the summer would be, would be boring,
100%,
right?
Mo. If I had to pick between shooting indoors and not shooting at all, sign me up.
Yeah.
You know, just know what you're getting into and take care of yourself a little bit differently. That's all.
Yeah, it's nice to have the option, right? So
right, and you don't know what you don't know, and we've all had indoor experience, so I thought it would be a good idea that we share some of those experiences with the listeners. So,
quite frankly, I'll shoot outside if I can, but I love the ability to shoot inside if it's there. Mm-hmm. Just take precautions. So. Russ is talking about the range that he belongs to. They clean it twice a year, and that includes washing down the walls and also the special company that for the wastewater as well. So my range does that as well. Come in.
Yeah, did that before the match too. They do a full clean down.
Yep.
Yeah, the wastewater. That's something else too. You really shouldn't be hosing that place down and putting it into the local sewage system.
Yep.
So even those guys that are using wet tumblers to clean their brass and then dumping that down the sink into the municipal system.
Yeah, don't dump it down your kitchen sink, please. No.
I have a septic field.
There you go. It goes away.
Yeah, no.
All right. So
I got a couple things.
Oh, sorry, Kyle.
That's all right.
Go ahead, man.
Well, I just wanted to elaborate on the floor thing. Like most ranges, it's not just concrete, it's a polished concrete. And that's one reason why I don't necessarily enjoy shooting indoor matches. I'll definitely go do them. They'll fill up fast, but I'll go do them. But they're definitely not my favorite because it is polished, and I haven't found a set of footwear that lets you move on that type of floor, especially when you get a little bit of dust on there.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
The soft-soled running shoes. Believe it or not.
Every shoe I've worn in, it's still Yes, obviously some are better than others, but it's something you really gotta watch and really work on running flat-footed.
Yep. Don't be afraid to get out there and see how nimble you can be with the shoes on. As I said, with the gun in the safety area before you start, timer goes beep, you take off running. And there I don't know if the video is still out there. There is video of me slipping at an indoor range and it looked pretty greasy. Didn't break the 180, didn't sweep myself, but it was obvious that I was doing my best to regain control. So, yeah. Cool.
And I kind of wanted to bring up, Mike had posted here, safety glasses are not the same as ballistic glasses.
That's correct.
While he's correct, and I think this was before when I said just basic safety glasses.
You did,
and it's fitting I'm wearing the shirt. We all saw that basic safety glasses will still do the job on the range.
Yeah. Ballistic are better though.
Yes, they are better, but if nothing else, like if all four of us are wearing eyeglasses.
Bastard. Stop arguing with Mike.
I'm not arguing. Like You're right.
You're practically telling him to go with nothing on.
No, he's not.
Mike, you don't even need to wear glasses according to Kyle. Don't listen to Kyle. He hates you.
Hi, Mike.
Wow, that bus, that came fast.
Donk. So,
anywho,
I mean, yeah, I'd rather have safety glasses that wrap around than my glasses. But ultimately,
well, no, I'm saying just
yeah, but you're wrong. You're saying it, but you're wrong. The point we're trying to make here is up your game indoors because the potential for an accident is greater. So your protection should be greater.
Yeah,
Kelly wants to agree with me, but she doesn't want to be seen as taking my side.
I will not
disagree with you.
Having technical difficulties.
Say it, Kelly. God. Say the words.
He's right.
I love
it. It hurt.
And I'm not saying you're wrong.
No, but I'm saying you're wrong.
Okay, well, fair enough.
So what Kyle
You're misunderstanding me. Do I need to mansplain it to you, Trevor?
Please, yes. Tell me more about how safety glasses are okay. No, go ahead and actually make your point, Kyle. Sorry, Kelly.
Okay, so I wasn't saying nothing, but safety glasses, you get a 2-pound lug out of a 50 BMG, hit it, and it saves your eye and your life. Mm-hmm. I'd say that pretty much says it. It does a pretty darn good job, surprising good job. Yes, not the same as ballistic, but better than what's on my face right now.
What the heck?
In other words,
oh well,
when all else fails and you have just safety glasses, wear the freaking safety glasses.
Yeah, but if you're going inside and you can afford ballistic eyewear, get ballistic eyewear.
What is going on with his pants?
Well, they're pajamas for one. I forgot to plug in my computer.
Did you go to Walmart?
I haven't been to Walmart in this entire pandemic. I love it.
Speaking of which, you're in the gun room, but did you read?
He's not in the gun room.
He is in the gun room because he has no guns.
We'll just call it the room now.
Formerly the gun room.
There. Well, yeah. So I bent over to pick up the notice the shirt, right? I bent over to pick up the power cord for my laptop. And I found a 597 extractor sitting on the floor.
So where's the 597 it goes with?
Away. Marcel has it.
Oh.
All right. Yes. So, Heffy, you're saying safety glasses are good enough for indoors.
Heffy is my favorite.
There's no E at the end of that.
Heffy.
Jesus Christ.
You're saying.
At least you could say half.
Half is sitting in the grotto. That's why he has half.
All right, Kyle. So your point is safety glasses are good enough.
They are surprisingly good.
I would think so. They're safety glasses. If they failed every time you use them, why would anybody have them?
Not safe.
not safety glasses. Safety glasses.
Not really for safety.
No.
I just say I have more faith in them now than I did, say, a year ago.
Okay.
Is that because
of just like the cheap, $2 construction safety glasses? And that is after Kentucky Ballistics, as that's exactly what he was wearing.
I have no faith
And that
in
lug
that.
come off that back of that 50 cal with that slap round, and that's saved it from going through his skull. I was very impressed by how well those glasses worked.
You're not wrong. That was a scary ass video.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
I gotta say, that was like probably my biggest takeaway, because I don't get to play with 50 cals or slap rounds very often. That was my biggest takeaway from that, was how well those cheap ass construction safety glasses worked.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure, man. Like, oh, this is a 50 BMG. I better not use these. I better go buy a $300 pair of ballistic. No,
but he cheaped out on the 50 BMG too.
yeah, there you go. So, anyway, that could have went horribly wrong, but it didn't. So, but you know what, Kyle? That's a good point. If it can take that, it's going to take any piece of 147 grain coming at you from 25 meters, probably. So, yeah, cool. Anything else you guys want to fight about before we move on?
We'll find something later, I'm sure.
Awesome. All right. Listener feedback. Listener feedback is sponsored by Armory DC Gunsmith. Armory DC Gunsmith is a full-service gunsmith who specializes in firearms refinishing. He offers hot bluing, parkerizing, Cerakote finishes, as well as wood refinishing. Check out his online inventory of new and used guns, firearms, accessories, optics, and more at www.dcgunsmith.ca. You can also follow him on the Facebooks at Facebook/Armory DC Gunsmith and the Instagrams. Is there any Facebook comments that we need to address, or we've been kind of checking them off as we go?
Yeah, we kind of been checking them off as we go.
All righty. Okay, who would like to take this essay?
You're the host, so you choose.
You're here. Yeah, no. You know what? No.
Oh.
No. This is from our friend down in the south. This one's for you, Trevor, because he's been waiting for you to come back on.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's a special email. Okay.
Spencer the Whale. All right. He says, hey, guys, it's been a while, but I hope everyone is well. I won't make this a long one. Said Spencer never. All right. I won't make this a long one, but there's a couple of things I wanted to bring up about your last episode on safety. First of all, it was an excellent interview. It was far more information on what probably happened on that set than anything I've seen anyplace else. I'm guessing that armorers in the United States don't have any kind of legal backstop that you do in Canada. One of the very rare cases where licensing is actually a good thing. I also wanted to mention on an area of safety that is overlooked almost all the time. I'm sure Adriel wears safety glasses when he's hacking away at a gun with a Dremel, but how many of you guys wear iPro when you clean guns? Well, so everybody that worked in the gun shop where I worked wore regular eyeglasses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure when you're a trained gunsmith and you're in class, they require you to do it. How many of those gunsmiths keep that habit? I don't know. And when I'm at home, I just don't know. I know I don't want to get solvent in my eye. I just take it for granted because I'm wearing glasses, and everyone on this podcast is wearing glasses. So
we're all blind.
Yeah. But anyway, he raises a really, really good point. You wouldn't want some Hoppies number 9 in the eye.
Yeah.
Back when CRR was still a podcast, I learned the hard way to wear some kind of eye protection when cleaning. I was using gun scrubber on a pistol, and a doppel of it splashed back.
I think that's a dollop.
You know what, Kelly? I will pronounce the fucking word however I want, okay? And if you don't like it, you can read the fucking email yourself.
Oh.
Luckily, the 7th grade shop class took over, and I remembered to irrigate or irate
doing to me right now.
Agitate, masturbate, my eye in the sink. But after that, I always wear some kind of glasses when I clean guns. I also wear them now when gunsmithing. Ever since I got a spring that flew out and gouged my cheek just below my right eye. Of course, those are usually just reading glasses these days. Otherwise, I'd never see those silly little parts. Also, you mentioned Masses ND. I think it was about a year back now when he wrote about it in his column in Backwoods magazine. Both he and the student cleared a gun he was going to use to demonstrate a point. Somehow, they both missed a nickel-plated round that was still in the chamber, and he got a bang when he was expecting a click.
Scary
Of course, the gun was pointed in the safe direction, so the only thing that shot was the berm. But it still goes to show how even the most experienced gun owners can slip up. That's it for now, and happy Halloween, Spencer. So, yeah, I did the same thing. I shot a berm once. I was expecting a click, and I got a bang. So that's why there's more than one safety rule, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's redundancies built into those.
Yeah.
All right. Kelly, hello, Slamfire.
Hello, Slime Flyer. A little show idea here. Well, some filler material anyways. It would be interesting to hear a quick interview with any new Maple Seed high score setting shooter. So just to give a little context to this, there was recently, being 2 days ago, there was somebody who shot at 249 at the Winnipeg Maple Seed that happened. So just so you know. What's their history in shooting? Was it their first Maple Seed? And what are their future plans for completely dominating the shooting sports? This would be a nice little plug for Maple Seed. I think we talk about Maple Seed a lot on here, anyways. And I'm sure most people who've ever attended an event would be interested in to hear about it. P.S. That last episode with Dustin Lang was very interesting and informative. Thanks for making it happen, Charlie H. So, I think that would be a great idea to get Sean on to talk about his history. I don't know exactly what it is, but get him on. 249, closest to perfect there is, without getting perfect, obviously.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to hear.
Yeah. It was interesting because we posted the picture, and Rick Antonio, he commented on it with the hashtag standing sucks, because he dropped the 1 point in the standing section. Anyways, I thought it was hilarious. Made me laugh. Giggled for about a good solid 5 minutes. Anyways, that's it.
Okay.
Trevor?
We lost Trevor.
Okay, so why don't we move forward? So, Mo, why don't you read this one?
Okay, salutations, Slamfire crew. After the beating Mo took from both Kelly and the audience for daring to suggest that Masad Ayub had ever had a negligent discharge, it felt apropos to write in. Mr. Ayub did indeed have negligent discharge at a Mag 40 class. While nobody was hurt, it goes to show it can happen to anybody. Then he links the article. It's written by Masad himself and shows how the other layers of firearm safety in place prevented this from being disastrous, instead of simply being embarrassing and damaging to his reputation. More interestingly, the first line shows that this isn't his first negligent discharge, proving that it can happen to any of us and reinforcing why layers of firearm safety are important. Kyle witnessed firsthand these layers of safety saving my bacon down in Utah, but that's a story for another day.
Oh, we should get that on. Get him on for this. Okay, Go ahead.
Mass experienced a lot of ridicule from the firearms community back when it happened, but stepped up, owned his mistake, and turned it into a teaching moment for the firearms community at large. Mo, when you're right, you're right. Own that shit, despite how disagreeable your co-hosts may become when they hear something that challenges their point of view. Hugs and kisses, Chad. P.S. Kelly, you're welcome and good night.
Chad, you're no longer my favorite.
Thank you.
You're absolutely right. Mo, you're right.
Yeah.
When you're right, you're right. Own that shit.
And
Okay.
I know exactly the thing he's talking about there. So
Down in Utah?
Yeah.
I think all of us have had that one moment, or when we've had maybe a moment when we were on, maybe that shouldn't have happened. So
Yeah.
oh, yeah, this one was a definite didn't happen, got flustered, and all of us were, wait a minute, that just happened.
that just happened. Yeah.
It all of us standing there, that just happened. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah. Like we have all been there when we've heard. So I was at a charity shoot when I heard somebody's pistol go to full auto. We weren't tell whose pistol it was, but it was somebody who's a co-host. At this most recent Maple Seed, I heard actually there was a rifle that also went full auto, so took that off the line. So there's always stuff that happens where you're going, oh shit. So, or it's always clearing your rifle or clearing your pistol and it's bang and it was supposed to be click. That's not good.
No.
So we've had those moments.
Yep.
So
But
it happens.
that's why there's multiple layers.
Aim at the berm.
Makes sense.
Yep. Okay. Go. Anyways, that was from
Chad. Yeah.
You want to do the one from Richard?
Sure.
Okay.
So from Richard, I was interested in your conversation about cooking duck. I am a huge fan and have a suggestion for Adriel and Kelly.
Sweet.
It's simple, and how I cook duck so my kids will eat it. Just take the breasts on any water duck, no coots, cut them into medallions no more than 1/4 inch thick, and in a high heat frying pan, put some butter and crushed garlic. Cook the medallions no more than medium rare, serve hot.
Oh, that
sounds
good.
very tasty.
Yeah, it would be good.
They taste like steak. The problem I see most do is overcook the meat.
Yeah.
Fair enough, yeah?
Yep.
If wild duck is more than medium rare, it gets a liver-like taste and texture. The lack of fat and density of the meat makes it easy to overcook. I have never had any wild goose or duck cooked low and slow that didn't taste like crap.
Okay, it's a great idea.
I will definitely take his duck cooking thing. I have done wild goose on the smoker, and it did taste good. But duck I think is tough, and that just sounds delicious.
Yeah. Well, the last ducks that we did do low and slow, but we did it basted with sour cherry relish, and it was actually really good. So Trevor got deleted. Yes, Trevor got deleted. I don't know what happened. He's in the middle of nowhere, so internet just died. Anyways, so I guess if you'd like to email the show, you can email the show at slamfireradio@gmail.com. I'm going to take over because he's not here. Patreon. We don't have any new Patreonies. If you would like to support the show, and you can do that through Patreon, go to patreon.com, look for Slamfire Radio. It helps us get the content to everyone. So, anyways, let's get into the shoutouts. Okay, Mo, you got shoutouts?
I will just say all the people that stuck around at the end of the Eastern Ontario match to help with the teardown. It definitely, in those conditions, you wouldn't blame people for wanting to get out of there after shooting in the rain for a few hours. But from what I saw, most of the people stuck around, and it definitely made for lighter work, right? So,
do you know that you were in the same city as I was, and we didn't see each other?
Yeah, I guess we were close, weren't we?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
Sad. Makes me sad.
Next time.
Kyle, what about you?
I want to thank the guys that came out on Saturday to work on the range. So there was Eldon, Chris, Matt, Carly, Lyle, Pete. Thank you guys. Another good day of work done.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'd like to give a shout out to all of the Maple Seed instructors that came out on the weekend. I know it was freaking cold because it was rainy and miserable, but you guys did an awesome job. The line was super safe. Also, I wanted to thank the participants who all came out as well. It was an amazing 2 days. Lots of fun was had. And finally, I want to give a shout out to Carl Kincaid for coming out with me duck hunting and consoling me when I didn't get any ducks. Just saying. Yeah, that's about it. All right. Trevor's not going to join us again, I don't think. So let's move on and just close out the show. So check us out on Gun Owners Canada. Give us a like on Facebook. Give us a review on Facebook too, because we have that active now. Join the CCFR. Donate to the legal challenge. Trying to win a nice new sign as well. And that's about it. So see y'all next week.
See you next week.